Ah yes, The Sims. The game franchise I used to beg my mom to buy me at least one of the games of when I was around like 10. And then she did. Back then it was The Sims 3 for Xbox 360, a console that was actually gifted to both me and my brother by our elder cousin who had bought an Xbox One at the time. Even though it was like 2015 back then and people had pretty much already moved on to the newer consoles, me and my brother didn't really have a choice due to our family's funds being pretty low then, and I mean, come on, who's gonna spit on a free black Xbox 360? It overheats now because we let it collect dust in our basement after my parents divorced and we moved away. Listen, neither me or my brother are proud of it, okay? But nonetheless, keep in your mind this was pretty much my first living interaction with a video game. Up to this point, I watched YouTubers play games I was interested in, which consisted of stuff like Hello Neighbor, Undertale, sometimes Ark if you were lucky, and surprisingly not FNAF. It's still a question I ask myself to this day, by the way. How the fuck did I dodge FNAF like that? So I took this small little Xbox controller in my hands when we got back home from Walmart that day, and me and my brother watched as a wild world of The Sims opened to us. We didn't even know how to save, mind you. That poor save we made is forever lost to the depth of Xbox 360. But flash forward a few years, and I don't remember how, but I learned that The Sims 4 was on sale on what was back then Origin. Rest in peace, brother. I immediately begged my mom to buy it for me as usual, and considering she noticed the price was literally half the original price, she couldn't really say no, and I once again stumbled upon the incredible world of The Sims on her 12-year-old Acer laptop. Hello everybody and welcome! Today we're diving into the comprehensive lore of The Sims for this iceberg with a whopping 212 entries. Before we start, of course, I want to give credits to these Reddit users who created and also provided information to this iceberg. Credits to all these people as well who have covered this subject before me. I am absolutely not the first person to cover this iceberg, and I invite you to check out these videos if the subject interests you. All shall be linked down below as per usual, including the original post to the iceberg itself. And last little thing, this iceberg being absolutely massive, it is very possible I will skip over some less interesting entries to save some time. But I might also make some mistakes. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you notice anything I've messed up, because that will happen. Alright, I've dragged on long enough. Let's get started with what is still vaguely well known to non-experienced simmers, the sky. Project Rain, I don't know, is a game that, if I understand, is currently under development by Maxis and EA like most Sims games, and as of September 27, 2024 was being playtested on an actual live server. But it actually switched names and was originally the concept for a possible Sims 5, which, if you're not aware, has been cancelled. From what I can understand, it seems that they are using what they had already worked on for the now cancelled 5th installment to create this Project Rain. This Reddit post shares a lot of possible leaks for this project that seems to be a mobile game, which I'm showing on screen right now. Feel free to pause and read if you're interested to see what the game's description and similarities look like. Overall, a lot of people, including myself, think this is an extremely stupid decision, especially knowing a lot of people were excited for the release of Sims 5 after the absolute shitstorm that was the launch of The Sims 4. To start off, The Sims 4 was actually originally an online game, and from earlier trailers, it appears to have a way more mobile-oriented aesthetic. The first game is what set the ground for what then became The Sims 3, with its more open world and free roam aspect, which, let me tell you, was kind of wild for 2009. So you know, the bar was kind of high for the fourth game and all. Things like the Create a Sim demo that was released as the game's, you guessed it, demo, had lots of excitement seeing how you could customize your Sims like quite literally never before. They also pushed a lot to show how they made the Sims themselves more expressive and almost lively. Similar to the Sims 3 midlets, but super expanded. For example, multitasking became a thing. They also made building way more fun, so what went wrong then? Imagine you pre-order the game like anyone does, you pick up the date releases, get home excitedly looking at your screen in anticipation as you see the game's download percentage go up. You finally open it and... what is this? Yeah, as a lot of people fear, despite the hype, it wasn't an open world, and it still isn't, by the way. You were greeted by this gray background which is like a household and in very similar fashion to The Sims 2. And just when they thought it couldn't get worse.
Every single invitation to this event has been declined.
What? Let me take a look at this. Are you joking me? Hold on. Barack Obama said no? Lady Gaga said no? Oprah Winfrey said no? Oh my God, Macklemore said no!
Yeah. Alright, I'm convinced there's no way you don't know this one. Remove the pool ladder while your Sims are inside the pool to make them drown. The burglars are NPCs present in the first 3 main games who will sometimes appear, mostly during nighttime, to try and steal items from your Sim's household as they're sleeping. More often than not, they'll steal the most valuable item of the lot. You can call the police on them yourself, which doesn't really guarantee them arriving in time, or install a burglar alarm, which ensures that the police will arrive this time. We miss you, burglars! Since we like updating Sims 3 and Sims 4 a lot, this entry refers to the fact that you cannot actually own a car in The Sims 4. You are able to go into the debug menu to find a life-size one, but they're not functional. Whereas in The Sims 3 you could very much own a car and do whatever you wanted with it. Hell, we even had bikes! Once again, referring to The Sims 4, this entry describes how, compared to, once again, The Sims 3, you can't actually make the color of the furniture yourself. You only have certain color choices per items, and you have to deal with it. The Land Grab family is a family that seems to be recurring in most mainline Sims games, as well as SimCity 3000, where their name is mentioned. They reside in Blue Water Village in The Sims 2, Sunset Valley in The Sims 3, and Oasis Springs in The Sims 4. The family's wealth seems to date back to a figure named Gregory Landgrab, who does not actually appear in the family's tree. But if the Sims 2 season pack is installed, a specific chance card for the adventure career reads: around the turn of the century, Gregory Landgrab, a humble school teacher, suddenly came into a great deal of money and became one of the wealthiest landowners around. This was never explained, though many theories suggest foul play, and the Ministry of Adventure has tasked Name with solving the case once and for all. After a great deal of research, Name believes one of 2 people will have the answer she needs: Spencer Oswald, the Landgrab's accountant or the local fortune teller, the Gypsy, who should Name bring in for questioning. In The Sims 3, which is supposedly the first in the timeline if you aren't aware, it seems the family is already very wealthy and are all living in 3 separate mansions. They appear in The Sims 4 as well, which, according to the timeline in an alternate universe, they're found in a mansion in Oasis Springs, going into the same name they did in Sims 3, Jeffrey, Nancy, and Malcolm. They also have the craziest family tree I've ever seen, so I would recommend checking out this video from Bella for more info. These are the most well-known cheats in The Sims regarding simoleons. Motherlode would give you 50,000, while Catching and Rosebud both only give 1,000 for some reason. This refers to certain drinks being referred as nectar or juice to not affect the game's ESRB rating. Come on devs, who do you think you're fooling? If you've played any Sims game long enough, you'll notice ghosts look different based on the way they passed. A yellow ghost from electrocution and red for fire are examples. Bonehilda is a recurring NPC who's a skeleton. She actually has 2 different versions, one being the janitor from the Magic Town lots, a spectacular spot, and Vernon's Vault. The other can be bought on residential lots as a maid. These are Eden World accessible with certain packs: Solving Glade and Forgotten Grotto for base game, the Deep Woods for outdoor retreat, Glenix Sexum for Get to Work, Cave of Sulani for island living, the Magic Realm with Realm of Magic, and lastly, Mount Komorebi, Upper Mountain with Snowy Escape. Usually they are a place you can interact with in nature. You're then prompted with a series of questions which, if answered correctly, grants you access to a secret area. They're usually filled with valuable materials and other things. This is a hidden inspiration of the food category. It's unlocked by cooking 3 servings of grilled cheese and eating all of them in a row. Once done, you get a pop-up notification in the right corner telling you it's been unlocked. The milestones consist of talking to Sims about grilled cheese and eating more grilled cheese. The reward for completing the expedition, you ask? Being able to spawn grilled cheeses at will. This is honestly really easy to notice, but TVs in The Sims 4 show footage of The Sims 3 and etc. Co-plants are plants you can unlock in The Sims 4 by planting a co-plant berry. It eventually grows into the full plant after a few days, and you can unlock the feed, play, pet, eat cake, milk, and collect simple interactions. It needs to be fed every 12 hours, and if it hasn't been fed after, we'll lure Sims in by offering a piece of cake, which you can either feed the plant then or try to eat the cake, which will provoke your Sim's death. If it is not fed for another 12 hours after proposing the cake, the co-plant will die, leaving only a skeleton. Like llamas, flamingos are a regular little mascot of some kind in the series. There are decorations, signs, lamps, and probably more. Johnny Zest is a playboy NPC who lives in a trailer house in Oasis Springs. According to his bio, he used to be a land grab before being disowned after dropping out of school to follow his dream of being an entertainer. The issue is that possibly due to the game's launch not having family trees, his family doesn't recognize him at all, causing him to be able to romance him if you decide to play him. Yeah, let's move on. This refers to science Sims 4 objects being way bigger than in other games. Certain examples include telescopes in previous games being 2x2, while 2.3 in The Sims 4. Stalls are 1x2, while 2x3 in Sims 4. The keg is 1x1 versus 3x2. The dollhouse and teddy bear also went from 1x1 to 2x2. While I am not 100% sure, this most likely refers to how it seems like the devs capitalized on the player's love and nostalgia of Strange Town from The Sims 2 to then go and make Strangeable from the pack with the same name. The other evidence to back this is the modern Red being extremely hyped, leading players to think it has nothing to do with the disappearance of Bela Goth. There have been a lot of mobile games Sims over the years. Some better than others, but here's a list of some of the more recognizable ones. The Sims 3 Play, The Sims 3 for a smartphone, The Sims Mobile, The Sims 2. You possibly notice if you've watched someone play The Sims game yourself. During loading screens there are some small tips that display on your screen. Some are just little fun facts to make your game experience better, while some are just full-on jokes, like the free earbuds. Congrats! You've made it through the sky. Hopefully I haven't lost too many of you in the process. But you guessed it, we're only getting started. We have a lot more to talk about and we haven't even touched a tip yet. So equip yourself with your little plumb bob and let's get diving. Like I mentioned earlier, the Sims timeline is messy. Almost like another timeline? Anyway, here's a rough idea of the current Sims timeline. First, we have The Sims 3, lots of ideas supporting that fact with, for example, Bella being a child in this game. Then comes the first Sims game, ending with Sims 2, while The Sims 4 is an alternate universe. Sims 1 will be around 25 years after The Sims 3, and then another 25 years skip between Sims 1 and 2. The Sims Medieval is a spin-off game where you could play as a Sim during medieval times and build your own kingdom with whole quests and stuff. To be honest, I remember this game being absolutely wild. Like, I think your Sim could get full-on executed. I don't know, man. This franchise has always been crazy enough. A plant sim is a life state featured in Sims 2 Season, Sims 3 University Life, and in the base game Sims 4. They are a mostly full-on plant needing sunlight and water. In Sims 4, you need to be level 10 in the gardening skill, then plant a mystical magic bean portal tree. Then, you need to find the forbidden fruit of the plant sim. Once found, eat it to become a plant sim. It's a pretty fun challenge if you ran out of ideas for households or if you're bored with the game. The Repo Man is an NPC who spawns in your Sims lot when bills haven't been paid for too long. When he arrives, he will start taking items from the Sims household as payment for the bills. Usually he only takes one or two, but he can start taking more of them if the bills are significantly high. You also cannot enter build or buy mode once he's entered the lot. Bela Goth is a character present in most mainline Sims games. She was present in The Sims 1 but appeared to have disappeared in the 25 years separating The Sims and The Sims 2. She was last seen at Don Latario's home using a telescope, which is a way to get your Sims abducted by aliens in-game. The Caliente sisters also arrived in Pleasant View shortly before her disappearance, so it's a good theory to suppose they might have something to do with it. It's strongly believed aliens abducted her and taken to Strange Town, which Bella confirms herself in The Sims 2 for PSP, where she says that she's running away because she was abducted by aliens. The Sims 4 and Sims Freeplay are both in different timelines to the other main games, which possibly was created during using the time machine of the Sims 3 Ambition Pack and Time Portal and Sims 3 Into the Future. The events in Sims 4 are possibly happening between the 25 years separating The Sims and The Sims 2. If you haven't played the first Sims games, this may mean nothing to you, but the first game had something for scaring its players. The burglar music being something that comes up in conversations a lot. The fire theme and most danger themes are also worth mentioning. Staying in fashion with the scary stuff of the first game, the prank calls are calls your Sims could receive pretty much at any time of the day. Your chances of a call being a prank from midnight to 8 a.m. are pretty much always 1 though. I don't know what the devs were on with these, but it's some of the scariest stuff ever. They include stuff like, you have been chosen, they will come soon, the drop-off has been made, you have been warned, the end is near, make preparations, the flashing white was just a test, you'll have plenty of warning next time, your psychic advisor's head has just exploded, be forewarned, they're coming soon, maybe you're shifting twice about opening the door. Yeah, not sure where they were going with that one. The Sims Online came out in 2002 as some kind of weird experimental Sims MMO. It was mostly the first Sims game, but in an MMO form, as wild as this sounds. It was sadly shut down in 2008. For the Sims 20th birthday, players were expecting a lot of things for such a milestone. Maybe a new spin-off game, maybe Sims 5's reveal, anything but a recolor of a hot tub that was already in the game. Sonny the Tragic Clown is an NPC who sometimes appears on Sim lots in similar fashion to the Grim Reaper. He will appear if Sims have a painting of him on the lot when they are depressed to try and cheer them up, being unsuccessful every time. Apparently, the Tragic Clowns are considered a menace in some kind of way, as a service called the Clown Catchers can be called to remove him from the lot. This is a glitch that occurs when stopping time in game. It causes the Sims to slowly turn their heads towards the camera as if looking at the player. In September of 2024, EA themselves confirmed that a Sims movie was in production at Amazon MGM Studios. Apparently, it could feature Margot Robbie and would be deeply rooted in Sims history in the game themselves. Everybody start playing their phone. They don't fuck this up, please. Katy Perry was actually part of The Sims 3 herself, being featured in her own stuff pack, Sweet Treats, and a collector's edition of the Showtime pack. Simlish, the official Sims language, was actually used for some artists' covers, including Katy Perry. Here she is singing Last Friday Night.
Rimpy fervor perbidex, wara ufa moonarex. Rimpy fervor perbidex, wara ufa moonarex.
Skip is a pre-made unplayable character in The Sims 2, featured as an ancestor to a pre-made playable Sims. He is playable in The Sims 3, but by the time of The Sims 2, he is already deceased. Oddly enough, he died by drowning, and it is described as a suspicious bowl ladder accident. Meanwhile, the pool in the back of the family house has no ladder. Think you can connect the dots as to what happened here. It's actually a fact that pregnant Sims in The Sims 3 and 4 are immortal and cannot die even if enacted by the player. It goes the same for Sims who are unaware to be pregnant. There are traits you cannot see in-game unless the Sim performs a related action by themselves or an interaction becomes available. They unlock the Sims in specific careers, life states, or sometimes a child of a Sim who has a secret trait. Some examples of hidden traits are immune to fire for firefighters and can apprehend burglars for police officers. The therapist is an NPC who comes and helps your Sims when their aspiration bar goes in total red, aka aspiration failure. He'll examine your Sim, help them give a little bit of their aspiration bar back, and then leaves. He's actually just a mirage that only the affected Sim can see. Really makes you wonder if that poor Sim isn't just going insane. Princess Cordelia is a name appearing on a piece of furniture in The Sims 4. The Sim in question, Cordelia Teb, and her household are available for download in the gallery. Her backstory is actually super elaborate and is either simply Sims lore or joke between devs. Olive Spectre is a Sim who lives in Straytown with her niece Ophelia. So far so good. Until you check her backyard. Turns out her backyard is filled with tombstones of various different Sims, ranging from simply NPCs to some relatives. A fun and silly observation is that we can notice Sims on the tombstones like eyebrows, just like Olive, because their faces have been corrupted. The deceased Sims and their house and their cause of death are also often starving and being electrocuted. For starvation, we have Danielle, a pizza delivery woman, Seth, a repairman, Melissa, Jessica, the maid, Benjamin, an exterminator, and Vicky. For electrocution, we have Earl, Oliv's first love, who literally left her at the altar. What an asshole. Tim, who's Earl's brother, Patrick, and Layla. There are also Lou and Nat, whose graves are missing, and a lot of other Sims died due to drowning or by fire. Olive, no offense, but you're really fucking weird. In The Sims 4 Seasons, during the Harvest Fest holiday, an activity called Holiday Gnomes becomes accessible. During the activity, Sims need to appease the gnomes appearing around the lot by offering them the correct gift. If given the wrong gift, or if you decide to kick them, what is wrong with you, the gnomes will start to wreak havoc on the lot. And even if you beg for an apology, there's a chance to be struck by lightning. Don't mess with gnomes. Again, in Sims 4 Seasons, Santa Claus can come around in your lot during Christmas. And you can have a kid with him. I really don't want to talk about it. The interesting thing is that the baby in question receives plus 50 points for fulfilling their whims, so if you did a wish of your Sim to get a couch instead of 100 satisfaction points, they'd get 150. The genie is an NPC Sims can summon by cleaning or rubbing an insect lamp in the first 3 minigames. In The Sims, the genie gives you 2 choices for a wish. They'll have ambiguous names like, what the hell do you mean, fire? They almost always go wrong that genie is not the best at its job. Example for 10 House of Wishes are fire either gives comfort and social stacks maxed or sets an object on fire. Water summons a water fountain or a hot tub, but it can also cause a flood. Air can summon many flamingos or a bunch of cockroaches. The imaginary friend is a life-set in Sims 3 generations. It starts off as a doll that a toddler or newborn can receive in the mail from a distant relative. It can come to life under a certain condition when the owner turns into a child. I mean, it starts off normal like a toy, but can eventually be turned into a real Sim or human in this case, which causes them to be able to marry the original owner. Okay, yeah, no, next entry. That's right, the novel Twilight is referenced a bunch of times in the Sims games. In Sims 3 Supernatural, the Swain family references the Swan family, aka Bella and Charlie. The family bio references pretty much the plot of the first novel. There is also Tristan referencing Edward. In The Sims 3, inside Midnight Hollow, there is a pre-made family including John Doe, Jane Doe, James Doe, and Jennifer Doe, referencing names given to unidentified victims of crime cases. In 2013, an interview of the Doe family was released on Sims 3 blog, which seems to paint a bigger picture than a simple reference. Good afternoon, Doe family. Thank you for letting us be here today. You have a lovely home. Well, that's all due to my wife Jane here. The light of my life keeps my home perfect and welcoming. Oh, John, you're making me blush. Aren't you guys precious? Let's start off with you telling me a little bit about yourselves. Would you like some more tea? No thank you. The cup you gave me moments ago with the fridge baked scones is excellent. There's nothing to tell, really. I'm living the dream in a corporate life, and I come home to a beautiful wife, a clean home, and excellent children. Well, it all seems pretty excellent. So, tell me, what brought you to Midnight Hollow? It seems a little dark for your sunny family. Are you sure you wouldn't like that tea? Joseph then gets up angrily, walks out of the house, and slams the door. Jen sits quietly and stares ahead with an eerie blank expression while James giggles and plays happily in the corner. Hey, just to change the scenery. You never know where the winds will take you and all that. Right. So, how about a tour of the house? I think it's clear that Jane isn't feeling too well. I think it's time for you to go. These moodlets include things like Groomzilla, satisfying greasy food, Calzone carnivore, visceral nausea, and life's not fair. Groomzilla causes a -10 mood for 3 hours and is caused by a disastrous bachelor party event. Groomzilla is a rare breed of Sim. Don't cross the one that's on a rampage, or you may never hear the wedding bells ring. Satisfying greasy food causes a plus 20% mood for 4 hours and is caused by a food truck. Fast food may not be the healthiest choice, but it tastes so good. Calzone carnivore gives 20 plus mood for 3 hours. 2 caused a wooden fire oven and is related to werewolves. There are a few things that werewolves like more than medium rare meat, unless it's an extra rare steak. Yum. There's also some impressed by the chocolate fountain, chocolate bliss, and chocolatey goodness, which reads, that just happened. No excuses nor regret. I drank straight from the chocolate fountain. The netherworld is the place in The Sims where ghosts reside if they haven't been brought back to life. In Sims 3, they can also be sent back there by clicking on their tombstone. In Sims 4, you can directly go into the netherworld with the life and death pack by choosing the Reaper career. Jerry Martin, music composer for The Sims and SimCity, did a post on Reddit 9 years ago introducing himself and telling people to ask him anything. It's honestly a fun read, and you should check it out if you have the chance. For example, we now know EA wasn't sure about putting out the first Sims game because they had a sports focus, not realizing it would be such a hit. In The Sims 2, memories and thought bubbles can sometimes appear displaying squiggly lines. It's sort of a known thing that happens in the community due to how buggy and easy to corrupt the second game is. Even today with the Legacy Collection. While it can still be a sign of corruption in your game concerning things like corrupt memories and gossip, it can be fixed using the bat box. More often than not, the game displays these squiggly lines because it can't find the proper thumbnail in the files. Think the pink and black checkered missing texture thing, if you will. The penguins are NPCs in the Sims 2 Seasons pack. He will appear on Anula in any season, though the chances of him spawning are higher during winter, and if there are fish on a lot, it's snowing with snow on the ground, or there is a snowman on a lot. He can do a lot of things like eat up to 2 fishies per visit. If there's lots of snow, he'll also slide around and try to reach a wall-mounted fish. He talks to any snowman, scarecrow, or whether or not 57X he will see. He can also go in and out the house and pee on a lawn for some odd reason. Sims can also pet him, which can cause him to be nervous and pee. Oddly enough, this little guy can actually corrupt your game in a multitude of ways. Adding him to a household using cheats, changing or tampering with your species, despite the game treating him as a sim. If he is added to a household, he will also have the appearance of a female, despite being a male by changing his appearance with the NPC and Townie Maker, which can also cause corruption. The Kraken is the super large sea monster in Sims 3 Island Paradise. Sims can encounter it in the ocean despite seeing it being actually rare. If they stay in a boat too long, there's a 4% chance of seeing it, while 1% chance of it attacking. And also plus 1%, so 2% of it attacking if you've seen it swimming near a Sim's boat previously. If a Sim has the front of the Kraken lifetime reward, they can use it on an idle boat to cause the Kraken to attack, after which it enters a rest stage for a few minutes. It can also be seen from houseboats if they are far away from land enough. Though its attacks aren't threatening to a Sim's life, it does destroy the boats. Lolita is a deceased character in The Sims 3. She's the earliest ancestor of the Ghost family, and her tombstone can be found in the family graveyard in their lot from Sunset Valley, where she also hunts them as a ghost. She died of electrocution while a young adult. However, she does not appear in the family tree of the gods, making her connection to them unknown. This could be an oversight, however we can tell she's not a goth by blood, and she is able to have romantic interactions with Gunther. She could technically be the first wife of Samuel Goff, which in turn could be a reference to Lolita novel, but I personally just think it's a nod to the Goth Lolita style fashion. I mean, it's the first thing that came up when I typed her name to get info for this video, so. It could just be the devs forgetting to link her to a member of the Goff family. She is the only Sim on lot to have not died from old age. So the mystery remains after all. Anna Remington inherited the ancestral mansion from her family, but only to realize that it's actually populated by the family's ghosts. The aunt Aileen, who died of starvation, the cousin Cody, who died in a fire, Kirsten, who died by drowning, and the uncle Jasper, who we suppose died of electrocution from the yellow color of his ghost. He is also the only Sim on the lot who has been cremated. While the lore itself seems interesting, the theory suggests that the mansion itself would be a reference to Winchester Mansion in California, which was built under the directions of Sarah Winchester, who would have followed the directives of multiple ghosts killed by the Winchester firearms business to build it, which is what a medium advised her to do after the passing of her infant daughter. The similarities between the two houses are things like balconies leading to nowhere, weird placements for windows and staircases, as well as a random room with only a lounge chair and fireplace. Scarecrows are a decorative object you can purchase in the Sims 2 pack for The Sims 2, 3, and 4. In Sims 2, they don't serve any purpose necessarily. Your Sims can laugh and view it, which after a few times the Scarecrow will scare them. In Sims 3, they work similarly to the ones in Sims 2 and will scare a Sim if they view them enough times. In Sims 4, he's a full-on NPC named Patchy the Straw Man, who, when first purchased, doesn't move at all. Your Sims can then talk and build a relationship with him, causing Patchy to come to life. Will Wright is the creator of both the SimCity and Sims series. He's had multiple references and allusion in the games, but this entry refers to his appearance in The Sims Making Magic. Will Wright can be seen as a huge giant climbing the beanstalk, and only the view option is available. Upon clicking on the option, a pop-up will come up saying thanks for playing The Sims. Project Olympus was the early prototype for The Sims 4, which was thought of mostly as an online multiplayer games like The Sims Online, which I mentioned earlier. In Sims 1, Miss Crumplebottom is an NPC who will hit Sims who display affection in public with her purse. Her first name is actually Agnes. While in Sims 2, the Mrs. Crumplebottom is her distant relative. Yes, the difference in typing Miss is important to differentiate them. Honestly, I got really confused looking for info in this entry, so pretty much just remember that Agnes Crumplebottom is the Sims 1 version, while Miss Crumplebottom is the Sims 2 version. Roberto is an NPC introduced in the Sims 4 Horse Ranch pack. He resides in a world Chestnut Ridge that came with the pack. He wanders on different lots in the world but doesn't actually live on any of them. He is confirmed to be bisexual. Slay King. On the Sims Twitter account in August 2023, a video revealed that Roberto was previously known as Robert Crumplebottom, who ran away by faking his own death from an unhappy marriage with the Sims 4 version of Agnes. Like I mentioned during the entry about her backyard, Olive is a little weirdo. Her first husband, Earl, died soon after leaving her at the altar, and she had 3 other husbands after who are all deceased before the games begin. Hugthanasia, Rigor Mortis, and Ichabod Spectre. Funnily enough, one of her traits in his Sims 3 version is commitment issues. Man, I wonder where that came from. While we're on the subject, pun intended, Olive had a child in The Sims 3 named Nervous Subject who by The Sims 2 had been taken by Child Protective Services and adopted into the Beaker family, aka the couple of mad scientists. His bio states that he twitches and blinks frequently, most likely due to the experiments of his adoptive family. He does not appear on the family tree of the Beakers, nor do they have any memories of adopting him, suggesting that he may not have been the happiest adoption known to man. Everyone pretty much assumes that his dad is the Grim Reaper due to the fact that Olive only has one memory of doing that with the Grim Reaper. Ophelia Nigmos is also his cousin, though they do not know each other when you first play on Strange Town. In the Sims 4 City Living pack, in which you unlock the ability to live in an apartment, a suspiciously cheap apartment named 131321 Chick Street, originally on Reddit, user Mr. Lorente started a thread in r/gaming details showing that removing the carpet in the apartment salon reveals a white outline on the floor that can't be removed. Possibly from a dead body, which then started a huge murder mystery, and I recommend this video to have more details and a pretty cool theory. It is fairly old, but it's still a good watch. Oh my god, what the fuck barbecue is definitely one of the most infamous Sims 2 CZ out there. It was a special barbecue that would let you cook your newborn for 640,000 simoleons. Even EA noticed it by doing a tweet saying, thinking about the food from Sims 2 and Sims 3, with different images of food featuring the oh my god, what the fuck barbecue mod. But of course, the mod brought some discourse because it was weird, I guess. Listen, I don't know, literally all I consume these days is horror. This is basically nothing to me. Eventually it was removed from the Mod The Sims website and is now basically lost media. Someone brought it back for The Sims 4 though, so... In Belladonna Cove, you can see a hidden lot in the background from the world view. It has a house with chicken legs, a reference to Baba Yaga, a witch of Slavic folklore, since witches were added in the apartment life pack. The one who came with Belladonna Cove. First, I want to talk about Wanderer. Yes, it's a pun on the word wanderer. He's an elder and retired Sim who lives in a barn next to the remains of his house, which burned down in flames. Possibly due to one of his inventions. His lifetime wish is also Monster Maker. Next, we have his best friend, Ardwood Clay. He's an artist who pretty much lost contact with his family and seems to be hiding a secret. Not for Lacey and Macy. If you check out the nearest Junkworld, where Juan gets the parts for his experiences, near the toilets you can see a gravestone that reads Lacey Darer. But why is it there? For starters, it's pretty obvious from their family names that Juan and Lacey are related somehow. No one is quite sure how exactly, and it doesn't seem that she's part of Juan's family tree either. All we know is that she burned to death, and her tricks being eccentric, perfectionist, artistic, family-oriented, and good. She shares her lifetime wish Monster Maker with Juan. It's possible she died in a house fire in Juan's house, but why would she be buried in a junkyard? For Macy, she also passed from fire, and her tombstone is in the back of Flay's laundromat. She was possibly his wife. Lacey and Macy look pretty identical, and Macy shares a lot of the same traits with Lacey. Her traits are eccentric, good, family-oriented, artistic, and perceptive. Literally a one-trait difference. Her lifetime wish was home design hotshot, and both of them share the same favorites, being indie music, fruit parfait, and the color gray. It is possible that Juan's lifetime wish being Monster Maker, he tried cloning Macy to also get a wife in the process. If you think that's insane, well, yeah, it makes sense because that's one of his traits. He's insane, neurotic, handy, inappropriate, and kleptomaniac. And he has 6 points in the inventing skill. It would be science though if he was skilled in cloning, but Twinbrook, the city him and Clay are residents of, came with the ambition spec, while cloning itself was a feature first introduced in Generations, which came 3 packs after. It's very possible the devs wanted to add a cloning storyline, but couldn't do so just yet. The mystery remains, once again. Stonehenges, aka Simhenges in the game, are artworks formations in southern England. They can be found as a build mode object and are already hidden in the worlds of Sunset Valley, Riverview, and Roaring Heights. They make good photos and paintings and are a good place for collecting. If you edit one of their spots and you edit sound caption, the description reads, "No one knows how the ancients got those rocks to stand in this formation, but we sure are glad they did." If you head a little further, you can notice a mine or cave if you prefer. You can't actually interact with the mine. Minerals will just appear around it, but if you look closely enough, eyes can appear in the dark. The Sims Superstars are back for Sims 1, which in concept is pretty similar to Get Famous in Sims 4. Your sim would work to become famous in the area of Studio Town, which is where some celebrities have their cameos as NPCs. Avril Lavigne, Marilyn Monroe, Christina Aguilera, Jennifer Lopez, and more are all cameos included. The Ice Cream Truck, aka Frosty Dreams, is a feature that was added to Sims 3 with the Pets pack. It could drive around and park in front of your house with its little song playing when it tells to sell some ice cream. But it wasn't intended to park at other houses, so sometimes we'll stay for the whole time in front of yours, waiting for you to buy an ice cream cone. Yeah, they got a little creepy with time. The Grey Woman of SimCity is a statue item added in the Sims 2 Nightlife pack. You can buy it in decorate mode for 6,000 simoleons. It's a statue of a woman who died in fire. In the description of the item, it says she watches over young children to protect them from fire. Which makes sense because toddlers and baby can't die of fire in-game. She can be found in Gautier Green Laws and House of Fallen Trees lots. The Power Aspiration in The Sims 2 is an inversion which has been scrapped during release and replaced with Grow Up. Its value can still be accessed during using SimModder or the testing cheats enable cheat, or SimPE, but Sims will be left with no aspiration if chosen. It has one similar to Fortune and Popularity. Internal files show that some ones and fears for it are winning fights and defeating the Grim Reaper. There are 5 pre-made Sims with the Power Aspiration. Hamlet Din, Judith Dutorre, Julius Caesar, Momentilla Bramble, and Stefano Arlecchino. All of them are dead ancestors from Veronaville. It is non-existent and can cause glitches in game heroes, so do be careful if you plan on doing tests with it. Scenarios are little events in which you have to do specific actions to get a high score on. The ones officially in Sims 2 are parties, getting into private school, joining a Greek house, dating, outing, getting a garden club membership, and escaping out on bail. Blackout, aka Power Outage, is a couch scenario in which your lot would lose electricity during a storm. You would have to keep the fun motive of the family and guests as high as possible without using any devices that use electricity. If the player succeeded, they'd be rewarded a windmill, working as a generator in case of another blackout scenario. The Triku family is the family who used to live in the House of Fallen Trees. All 8 of them are dead before the game but can be resurrected. The house itself is haunted by the 2 teenagers of the family, and a young woman not from the Triku family named Renelle Ninjia, that is not the right word anyway, who died of fright possibly due to seeing the other 2. The other family members are buried in the graveyard. It's mostly believed among players due to the coffins in the basement, the weird attitude of the members to marriage and love, and the gothic makeup and base clothing that the Trikus were either a vampire clan or part of one. Jeannie and Elle are 2 hidden townies who both look like little girls, but they're recognized as adult guys on their last days before turning to elders. Both have no personality points, no default interests, no turn-ons and turn-offs, and no skill points. But the game often gives them friendship with other random townies. Hey, at least the girlies are alone. Both don't appear in-game as they are not part of the townie pool when you view it in the SimPE, but you can add both of them in there. You can also use cheats to make them playable. Both of them float when they walk and have a man voice and can do adult interactions. They've been known to be able to corrupt the game though, I'm not sure. It's possibly they were planned as townies or playable Sims, but their data was corrupted before the game's release. The nannies are service NPCs who can take care of babies, infants, toddlers, and children while their family is away. There have been genuine reports of nannies just walking out with a baby, but it's also the equivalent of deleting said baby with move objects. The baby reappears in the mailbox, yes, the mailbox of all places, when a lot is reloaded. I actually found this post on the Mod The Sims website that describes it happening. The nanny stole my baby. I was playing the Otoma's family and mom just gave birth to twins. The nanny came by for the first time but was dismissed because everyone was home. After she was dismissed, she walked over to the crib, took one of the twins, and got into the nanny van and drove away. My twins were well fed and taken care of, and no warnings of social workers. As anyone else had this happened, I was amazed. The burglar in Sims 1 also has a genuine chance of taking a baby when he comes to rob the lot. So I guess they're also kidnappers now. Hi, it's me from the future, editing Sylvie here. I just wanted to let you know that the pink soup glitch can kind of have a little of eye strain and flashing colors, though it's mostly just pink and purple, but you're never too sure, so I did just want to tell you that you can skip to this timecode if you'd like to avoid that. Just seeing the name of this entry is probably giving some of you awful flashbacks. The pink soup, or purple apparently the shade varies from player to player, I've also seen it referred to as pink flashing, is a visual glitch that occurs when the game runs out of texture memory. It's become an issue with newer hardware and apparently wasn't happening until around 2008. Some things that include the likelihood of it happening are having a lot of CC in your game, high poly CC, or CC with high textures. Lots of objects on your lot, too many trees in the neighborhood, or most likely more. Some players were investigating it in depth, but it seems like there's a lot of different causes. I've seen it happen to people online after playing for a few hours. Some have fixed it by leaving community lots and returning to their home lots, closing and reopening the game, changing the lot view settings, but seems like more often than not closing and reopening is the magic trick. This isn't anything new, Sims 2 has always been like this. People to this day still make mods to fix some glitches and make the game run better on your computer. The same goes for Sims 3 actually. The Sims 2 Legacy Edition, released for The Sims 5 25th anniversary, had apparently fixed the pink soup issue, said so by EA in the official bug fixes for the Legacy Edition, but it was in fact not fixed. I even watched a review in the edition where it went worse than the classic edition the creator had. Big letdown. The Sims Exchange is an official EA website made for players to share mods of The Sims 3. In June 2020, players started noticing a package file attaching itself to other packages. This ended up being the package for the doll girl, which had been incorrectly cloned from the teddy bear item. It kind of acted like an infection virus, infecting game installations of players and then infecting other players who downloaded lots, houses, or Sims with a doll attached. Because it acted similarly to old computer viruses, people started thinking it was an actual virus and panicking. Just a little bit. This is corrupted doll that is attaching an invisible way to nearly all items on Exchange. Check if you don't have her in your game. If yes, you need to remove her from your game and your studio. Don't allow to spread it to more Simmers. Click this Siggy for more information and help on how to get rid of her. Let's make Exchange doll free. In reality, it seems the doll caused longer loading times, game crashes, and sometimes deleted save files. Then other players who were unaware uploaded infected packages on the Exchange, causing it to spread. Multiple Sims communities, sites, and then reported the issue, and the Simmer Glitzy Angel would post a guide on how to get rid of it. EA added a sticker to the profile after a little while to inform the community about the problem. The original creator of the doll also re-uploaded a fixed version of the doll later on, so more panic than actual harm. The Sims games have quote-unquote hidden skills that aren't actually quite skills themselves, but things you can notice. They also obviously won't appear as a skill in the interface since they don't really register at one. They are a part of all the mainline Sims games. The painting skill refers to how you can visibly notice your Sims getting better at painting over time, and getting paid more for them in Sims 2, especially if they have maxed their creativity. This skill is, however, part of the actual skills you can practice in The Sims 3 and 4. Adventureland is a test neighborhood in the Sims Free World Adventures. It only appears if World Adventures is downloaded on Origin or on Mac or on the EA app through Windows after the release of the 69 patch. It's a perfect clone of Sunset Valley featuring only 2 Sims living in it, while the graveyard has the graves named Remains instead of the dead Sim's name like it usually does. It is also a generic item instead of the remains you can buy using the Buy the Debug cheat. These graves also all display the cause of death as old age, graves bought using a cheat display as death by fire. The 2 Sims are Sally Hardy and Jack Ransone. Both of their descriptions are adventure local. Not every player has it as well. Some people have it on a computer while it is completely absent on another one. A player said this: I was playing on Adventureland when a box came up with Grim saying, "Would you like to go on an adventure?" The game then crashed. It is either a test pack for World Adventures, like I already mentioned, since World Adventures did not come with a world itself, rather a world you could go to on a vacation, or it could be a test world for a pack that never came out. Maxis or EA have never made a statement regarding Adventureland, so the mystery remains in this case as well. In The Sims 2 for PSP, Nervous Subject is a ghost inside of the main bedroom of Bella Goth's mansion. Emily Emery tells us that he was constantly short on money, which pushed him to sign up as a test subject for the Beakers. It seems like one day, Nervous, despite being in a very bad condition, was experimented on by a Loki Beaker, and unfortunately it caused him to be electrocuted. To complete the task related to Nervous in the game, you need to pick up a charm from his grave and give it to Annie Howell. Seems like they were dating, but Annie tells us that he broke up with her not long before he died. She was also unaware of his death, but Annie keeps the charm. After doing that and going back to talk to Emily, his ghost forever disappears from the house. The prince, not the Prince family, they're different, is an NPC that has a rare chance of spawning upon a Sim kissing a toad and the Sims making magic. Wild toads can spawn for a variety of reasons, such as the Sim turning into a toad using the toadification spell or the Horn of Mighty Charms backfiring. Upon the prince spawning, comically royal fanfare will play and he will immediately join the family. Princes spawn with very high stats, with some even being maxed out. There's even a chance they will spawn as illiberately if you have the Sims Superstar installed. Firstborn syndrome is a glitch in The Sims 2 which requires a little bit of background explanation. When a pregnant Sim gives birth, the game determines the newborn's genetics at random. The issue is, the game's genetic system works in a way where every time the game is loaded, it starts from the same place as before every single time, and as a result, the first baby born in every play session from a couple will have the same genetic trait as the firstborn, which is where this glitch gets its name. This bug has never officially been patched, although there are certain tricks and mods you can use to avoid this from happening. The issue with ghost children in Sims 2 isn't quite the ghosts themselves, other than the fact they will not follow but teleport. Rather, the issue is that a bad use of the game's mechanics will make NPCs able to corrupt your game like Grim, the therapist, or the doctor appear on a lot, which may corrupt your game, causing you to have to completely reinstall the game. The mechanic itself causing the problem is when a relative of a child comes to your lot to collect the child to bring them back home when it gets late at night. For playable Sims, it'll be a member of the family, while for Tony's, it's a random Tony. The code itself doesn't check if the child is a ghost or not, so even if it is a ghost child, the game will still think something along the lines of, oh, it's late and there's a kid on this lot, better spawn someone to take them home. The issue is, all dead Sims are dumped into a default family, consisting of all the object NPCs like a therapist. The game can't use a dead NPC to bring a kid back home, so it makes one of the universal NPCs come over to your house to take the child back home, which in turn can corrupt your game, which will need a full reinstall after. It is a rather simple fix, however. Simply dump a ghost child from a residential lot over to a community lot, as the problem only happened on residential ones. Death Fish is a fish in the graveyard part of Sunset Valley. It shows up from 12 a.m. to around 3 to 5 a.m. The entry refers to how its model is literally the model of the Grim Reaper with added blue fins. What you can think of as the mouth is actually the hood with a small little skull inside. This vile creature is a rooster that roams around the streets of The Sims busting out. The Veloci part of its name comes from the Velociraptor dinosaur. Why, you ask? Well, the Velica rooster can knock the player unconscious and send them to the hospital. Yep. It appears in numerous missions throughout the game. In level 4 mission 5, you even have to catch it. If you have 6 body skill points before the quest, however, you can catch it sooner and not have to worry about it later. Olivia is a pre-made, unplayable, deceased, and sensual sim who lived in Veronaville. She died while pregnant with her third child. Oddly enough, her pregnancy as a ghost is only a mesh. Bring her back to life, she's not considered pregnant, and the token for it was deleted during the development. Oddly enough, if you resurrect both Olivia and her husband Claudio, then have them have the third child, gosh, that's a crazy ass sentence. The baby will always have black hair, brown eyes, and medium skin tone. This one is so random. The Ride with Scissors playset by ad is an item you could download on the Sims 2 website. Its only function is having Sims run with it in their hands, causing their death if they do it for too long. It is a death by fright that honestly I would argue looks more like they're getting impaled by the scissors than anything else. The hula zombies are NPCs who sometimes appear when Grim comes to take a dead sim. If an elder has reached the end of their life with a gold or platinum aspiration level, then Grim Reaper comes out with 2 hula zombies and gives the elder sim a margarita and a suitcase. The elder then walks off and leaves an urn or tombstone behind. The Alien Autopsy is a minigame you can play in The Sims 2 for DS inside the government lab if you have a modified alien in their inventory, which you can find by using a metal detector in the desert. It's a very difficult and risky minigame. The simoleons you get from it can rapidly decrease if something goes wrong, so most players just decide to sell the mummified alien at the shop since the cash reward isn't too bad either anyway. If you manage multiple successful autopsies, you will be awarded with an honorary doctorate diploma in extraterrestrial dissection and repurposing from Minneapolis University. Loki, I can't help but feel bad for this poor alien, like bro, look at him. Bigfoot. And The Sims 2. Bro, why am I not even surprised anymore? In order to find him, you have to find a map for Hidden Burrow, either by going on a hike or raiding the captain's cabin on a pirate ship. Once you have the map, you can then access Bigfoot's secret lock in 3 lakes. Contrary to popular belief, Bigfoot's a pretty chill guy. You can build a relationship with him, he can even move in. Fun fact actually, when Bigfoot moves in with a player, another one spawns in this place. So, theoretically, you can collect multiple Bigfoot roommates. He can even get a job where he wears some relatively dapper attire and can grow old. Overall, pretty cool dude. Beelzebub, or Prime Aether, is a god worshipped by a bunch of Sims in Sims 2 for DS and PSP. She looks like a giant cow. On PSP, the Kind Society worships her in Dead Tree. Their society was founded by El Toro, but is led by Shinjin Ballari. The sim you play as and other members can perform a ritual dance for Beelzebub. If you buy the Bovinomicon, Evil Dead reference, at the register of the entrance room in the Kind Dairy, it states, "The great Beelzebub slumbers beneath the face of the earth. When Beelzebub rises again, she will awaken the Elder Erd. The Elder Erd will trample all those who stray away from the teachings of the Kind. Once the earth is cleansed, there will be a new era of peace and delicious grass." I guess we can consider them a cult. The office rumor is a little conspiracy which mentions an office flyer in the EA office during the development of The Sims 2, causing the progress they had done on the game to be erased and making them completely start over. Meaning we might have ended up with a game completely different from what was originally planned. However, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, some devs have confirmed the rumor to be false. While it is inherently possible that a fire may have happened in the office, I honestly personally doubt it would have done that much damage. In the spin-off game Sims Castaway, where your sim and a few others go on a cruise which ends up crashing, you can find on one of the islands you explore the hidden world of the llama people, a tribe that worships llamas. The Flaming Go-Go Dancer is an NPC Sims can create in The Sims 2 by using the enchant spell on a pink flamingo. Sims can't interact with her, but she can talk, hug, cheer up, or give them back rubs. But she can also talk to pets and animate flamingos. In Sims 3, where the painting skill was introduced, like I mentioned earlier, each painting has 9 variations that depend on your Sims traits. Though it's not a 100% chance, the variations had little filters on top of the base paintings. Here's some. In The Sims Unleashed, an expansion for the first game, the upside-down head syndrome, or also upside-down face disease and other names, is a bug causing the Sim icons to change into incorrect images or for their heads to become invincible, which is caused by corrupted character files. In the games, if you hover the plastic surgery option for an alien sim, a pop-up tells you they are unable to get one because of cultural issues. In reality, this is due to the game's coding preventing them from being created in Create a Sim. In the third game, if your sim is level 3 in the logic skill, buys and uses a telescope until a screen pops up telling you you've found a star and asking you to name it. If they name it after another sim they know, the game recognizes it and gives them a cute little memory. Lucia Valentine just named the star after Nellie Valentine. She'll never forget how the star's twinkling beauty reminded her of that special sim's twinkling eyes. Mama Ick is a pre-made playable sim in Sims 1 who lives in Old Town from the Unleash expansion pack. It's said that Mama was the rich Miss SimCity, but then lost her savings to her psychic phone friend, and now only a few remember who she was before in the past. Now for Sylvia, she's a pre-made playable sim as well as introduced in the living large pack with her husband, Frankie. She starts off in the paranormal carrier as a psychic phone friend. Yeah, I think you can connect the dots. This refers to a 1998 prototype of the first game Maxis made for the steering committee at EA. Its build was compiled on June 4th, 1998, more than a year and a half before the game's actual release, and it leaked on October 27th, 2023. This prototype focused on one storyline with Ross, Mercedes, and Samantha and Happy Acres. It did not include Create a Sim. Even though it has never actually been released, its settings and characters were featured in a teaser trailer for the final game. This entry is tied to one I skipped previously. Gay relationships were actually unplanned in the first game. The Sims were featured in a little hidden area for their main stage. EA had put up a booth featuring the game. The game would have honestly most likely been cancelled had it not made any noise during the event. However, after a few hours, two girls in the Sims background kissed, completely unplanned, which made the game kind of the main topic of conversation. Originally, the development team went back and forth for a few months debating whether they should add gay relationships or not, considering it could affect the game in a bad way, a game EA didn't really want to begin with. No one had really featured LGBT relationships in games before, and some of the team figured that maybe they should be the first, out of fear for the game. Patrick Barrett, who then joined the team in October 1998, was eventually given an old document so he could work on Sims' social interactions and the game's AI that dictated how the Sims interacted with each other. None of them realized it was an older document that still included gay relationships, though. Which is what then caused what happened at the E3 1999. Now the question is, though, is there any video of that kiss at all? Anything? Do we actually have a lost media on our hands right now? In The Sims 3, inside Sunset Valley, you can find some stone blocks with weird symbols on them. It seemed to have a UFO, a sun, aliens, and some can see the number 112 on some of them. No, it's a bit far-fetched. Basically, in the early years of Sims 3, around 2010 to 2011 or so, people found the weird symbols depicting a UFO and aliens, even though there was no news at all about them just yet. Seasons wasn't out and hadn't even been announced at the time. People then came up with the 112 theory. The theory said your sim could actually be adopted by aliens on the midnight of their 112th birthday, but only if they went to bed precisely at 11 p.m. Obviously, it's circulated around easily. However, it ended up just being a little conspiracy theory people made because they wanted aliens and the abductions back. A user on Reddit a year ago, as I'm writing this, found in the files an unofficial Elijah Wood skin for the Sim Superstar pack. The outfit has the name EJ, and then they searched and found a matching head with the same name. Gosh, that's a long name. Now, I couldn't really find info on The Sims 1 being at the cause of this specifically. The conspiracy and Mandela effect started when people swore they remembered the Fruit of the Loom logo, which is a manufacturer of underwear, having a cornucopia, aka a horn of plenty, behind the other fruits. The entry suggests that Sims 1 has a business sign with a similar design, however, I could only find this Reddit post on the Sims 2 subreddit with something that looks oddly similar. Whoa, that was a dive. If you're still here and watched all the way through, I thank you dearly. I worked on this video for way longer than I like to admit, and even though I definitely think I could have done better on some aspects, I'm glad to say that I finished my first Iceberg video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I had to skip some entries that I could not find any information relating to. For example, that Black Plague entry, I could not for the life of me find anything on it. So of course, if there's anything I skipped over that you have the answers to, feel free to write it all down below. I'll happily be reading all of it. Sources, Reddit posts, and credits for footage can all be found in the description. Thank you to Sims Wiki, which I used to find a lot of information as well. It's also occurred to me that a 3.0 of this Iceberg was released recently as I worked on this video. Oh well, you can't win them all. In the meantime, if you'd like to support me and what I do, checking me out as my socials is the best way to do so. I stream Dead by Daylight weekly on Twitch, as well as some other games sometimes, and I'm pretty active on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, really. Subscribing and liking the video also helps me out a lot. I'm waiting. Come on, you can do it. Thank you. Alright, it's time for me to take a little break for the time being. Once again, thank you for watching and supporting. I'm gonna go grind Tartarus on person for you now. See you soon!